Hello, hello. Happy Wednesday. Hey, Diginanigans. Hey, Nix. How's it going? All right. We're starting a little late today. But everyone else is busy doing GMTK, so I figured it would be a quiet day anyway, right? So good luck, everyone, doing the GMTK jam. We're bug hunting still from yesterday. Trying to understand this interaction that I think we're starting to narrow down. Probably play something a little more active here for the music. I say a little, don't get your hopes up. Bug hunting's cool. Yeah, that's about it. You're going all right, Diginanigans? You got a bit of a crunch week, making last minute patches to a project supposed to go live tomorrow. Ooh, that's exciting. There's no chance anything unpredictable might happen. Yeah, I found a bug at my day job yesterday that had been in place for a bit over a year. And nobody, because the system was like largely self-correcting, so it would eventually like sort things out. But it was pretty funny that this weird buggy behavior had sat unnoticed in this code base for a year. It was a little embarrassing, not gonna lie. Luckily, I found it and fixed it, so could have been worse. Could have been more embarrassing. All right, here's my thinking on this. So here's our restating our assumptions moment. Lisa was found. Yeah, right. The unpredictable has already happened, hence the last minute patches. Ah. Yeah. All right, so we have 3 different kinds of layers of autotiling here right now. We have like the material, what I call the material, which is just like the floor, the wall, the blocks and stuff. We have the interaction one, which is this one, which is like, this shows you the area that you're interacting with. And it shows up when you're either placing blocks, right? Or when you're selecting blocks. So right now I'm like selecting, which is why it won't extend. And if I let go, we have this last layer, which is the actual selection layer. But this layer is behaving very strangely. And I think I have it down. I think I know where the problem is. I think it has to do with the mask that we're using. It's the only thing I can think of that's different and unique about it. Because essentially we're getting this. So like the grid, like the light grid look that we're getting on this one is intended. And it's actually just a slight overlap between things, which is why you see the outlines in the middle, but not on the edge. But the selection one's the opposite. I want the outline on the outside, but it's putting the outlines everywhere. And I don't want it exclusively on the outside, but I want it to essentially follow the regular outlining rules. So I think looking good. Thanks. Yeah, except for the unintended grid, which is fine. Like you said, it looks good. I just don't want it. And I think the problem is this game.input.selection mask. There's something about the way this mask is set up where it is not giving us the behavior we're expecting. Hey, Rhiannon Journey. Happy Wednesday. How's it going? Anyone here gearing up for GMTK? I was tempted when I heard the theme. The theme is loop, which is a pretty good loop. Or a pretty good theme. Loop is a pretty good theme. That's the statement I'm trying to make. It's very general, and I think for enormous jam like the GMTK jam, which has had like 33,000 signups or something like that, I think you'll see a lot of interesting variety. Yeah, so like 34,500 joins. Crazy. Huge. I don't remember what I normally see in Ludum Dare, but I think I've seen like 6,000 people actually start, and then only usually like 3,000 or 4,000 finish. So this is just like eclipses everything else as far as I know. Enormous. And then yeah, the theme this year is loop, which is a pretty good theme. Pretty good theme. No, I'm not. I'm not doing this. We're not doing the jam. I was watching people do the jam before I went live. I was watching like Aramis and Ezra. Aramis does a good pre-jam stream. I just thought it was cool. I'm not doing it for a number of reasons. One is it's like starting in the middle of the week and it runs for 4 days, and it ends for me at 10 a.m. on Sunday. So that's not great for me. And also it has no like individual category. I'm like a deeply competitive person, but I hate competing. It's a conundrum. So I don't like, if I'm going to do a jam as a solo dev, I want to be like in a solo category or something. I want to feel like I'm on even footing with the other people that I'm jamming with. And when it's like you competing, when it's an individual competing against a jam that has like 6 team members or something, it's hard to feel motivated. So I'm going to be doing Down to Jam in early September, and then I'll be doing Ludum Dare in early October. And those both have solo categories. Down to Jam will be my chill, like getting my confidence back jam, and then Ludum Dare will be the showtime, you know. But yeah, I hope other people are doing the GMTK jam. It looks really fun. All right, so here's my thinking. The way this is set up here. So, something about this mask. It's an eye collection. Maybe it has to do with transferring this to an eye collection. What if we say hash set? What if we explicitly specify a hash set for this? For this specific layer. Where even is this? Here we go. And then we'll I just want to see why. I feel like our mask is well formed, so I'm wondering if it's getting messed up when it's getting boxed here. You got this one confused with Down to Jam. Oh yeah, Down to Jam is going to be small by comparison. Very excited for that one. Any big plans? Oh, Rhiannon Journey, right. You're at LaraCon, the Lara Croft conference. Second day of the conference is today. The talk you're most interested in is in an hour or so. Ooh, nice. Well, thanks for hanging out here, I guess, while you're waiting. All right, that didn't do anything. Okay, that's reasonably good to know. That had no effect. Which is good, because I liked having the flexibility of being able to pass any eye collection in. All right, so There definitely is a problem with the mask, though. Like, definitely. What if instead of passing that in, we passed in the other one? So what if we passed in game.input.cursorbounds.toList instead? Actually, we can just have both running, can't we? I probably shouldn't. Oh, your Bluetooth works again. You hard cycled your PC. Nice. Yeah, the power cycle. Yeah, that's what we call it. Okay, that didn't do anything. Good to know. All right, here's why I'm convinced that it has something to do with this mask. So we'll go back to just saying game.input.selection. Bluetooth started working just in time for all of your inspiration that you had yesterday to evaporate. That sucks, yeah. Running into a roadblock like that will do that to you. All right, so here's why I'm thinking this. So if we do something like we invert this check here. So right now at the tail end of our thing, we say if mask is not equal to null, like if a mask has been specified, and this mask contains this specific value, which is the adjacent neighbor, like if the adjacent neighbor has also been selected, or the mask is null and the hull types match. These are the two times that, these are two of the, you know, the key conditions for which we can justify updating the Atlas cohorts to remove the outline, right? What's interesting is if you flip this to say not contains, you get some interesting behavior. So watch this. Oh, this isn't what it was doing yesterday. It's doing something else yesterday. All right, maybe I don't have a handle on this. So right now what it's doing it's able to recognize that these edges are not part of the selection. But it's doing the opposite of what we want. So it's getting rid of the outlines when it should be adding them. So it's the opposite condition of what we want, but it's what we're currently tracking. Whereas these, the foreground, it's interesting. The foreground is doing nothing. It makes you wonder why. You'd think that this outline actually wouldn't even show because of the way tiling works. Maybe I have this set to be one index higher than the underlying tile or the underlying layer. That's possible. Okay, well, strange. Yesterday I thought that indicated something more than it did, I guess. Oh, we got a mod count earlier, right? 369 mods next. Wow. It's incredible. I just saw that number by itself and it made no sense to me, but now I understand. You swear you can stop anytime you want to? Yeah. Yeah, you're in charge of when we stop. Diginanigans, you'll have to try and catch one of the big jams one of these days. Right now you simply don't have a flexible enough schedule. Yeah, it can be tough. It can be tough. That's why I like the 2 or 3 day jams. Because you could take one day off, or you could take like half a Friday, half a Monday, or you could take Monday or Friday off. I think it's best to do both, but yeah, it gives you maybe a little more flexibility when you do a weekend jam. Because depending on your time zone, it usually starts sometime Friday or ends sometimes Monday, depending. But yeah, that's my preferred jam format. I can't do these 10-day, 2-week, whatever jams. 4 days I think could have been cool, but I would have liked it to have overlapped with the weekend more. And I would have needed to plan ahead to take time off of work, which I don't think is super realistic right now either for me. So yeah, I get not having the time, but it is really fun. You learn a lot more about your capabilities in those few days than you do in, months of regular development. All right, so the crux of this mystery is that the Atlas coords for those floor tiles are always 0. They get passed through and they're only ever 0. Because we're never hitting all of the conditions needed to increment the Atlas coords. As far as I can tell. It's kind of the only thing that could be happening. It's still funny to me that we did the whole refactor in 2 days, and now we're spending 2 days hunting for an obscure bug that's resulting from it. I don't know if it's resulting from it, but it's a piece of behavior. I think this bug was here already, but I had decided that I liked the grid, selection grid. But now I've kind of changed my mind on it, so I would like to be able to find this and get rid of it. Next, today at work, you finally finished re-implementing your website's chart creator part. It's such a pain in the butt, but it mostly works now again. Nice. What's a chart creator? Oh, it's like a for creating reports and stuff, yeah? Like graphs and things? It's like a Grafana kind of thing. What could be triggering because it's one thing. I wonder if there's a problem with the selection hash set. I wonder if we're not cleaning it up. No, we are, because it works. Like, if it didn't work, like if it didn't show us exactly the correct area, it would overextend itself. But here it works totally fine. We can even shift click to like have more than one region. Which is why it's like a hash set and not just an AABB like this one is. Because this one is contiguous. It's just a volume, the interaction one. Which is why it can just be an AABB. Although, I don't know. I guess it depends on if I allow shift clicking for this too. I don't think I need to do that because they can just be discrete actions. It's not like selecting multiple things. But yeah, why is this grid here? And why does it go away at these junctions? I feel like if I understood this, I could maybe understand what's happening here. Because it looks like the only place it's actually allowing the outline to... It's allowing itself to, like, remove the outline is at these boundaries between differing hull types. So I think it's because the adjacent hull type is like a middle part here, and then our hull type is outer. I think that it noticing that they're different is allowing it to remove the outlines, but that's like the opposite. That is the opposite of the behavior we want. And it correctly doesn't do that at the edge of the selection. So here at the edge, it still shows the little outline, but you can see where it's like missing them. Very strange. Yeah, you can create graphs and then make them interact with each other, filter each other, and then add in tables and columns from different SQL tables, which get pretty efficiently queried and joined properly and stuff. It's really cool. Yeah, database programming is pretty cool. I've never done it, but you end up studying the way database stuff works when you start looking into entity component systems, because they care a lot about table normalization stuff. Rhiannon, you like building that stuff too? Yeah, that seems to be the bread and butter for like a lot of web devs that do backend or full stack or whatever. You're wanting it so that the white outline is on the outside of the entire selection, right? Yeah, I want it to behave like the regular block autotiler, which already does this without any issue running through the same program. So running the exact same functions, it works exactly correctly, and then this one doesn't. So there is something with the input. I'm thinking it has to do with the mask, because that's the only thing that's different. But it could also have to do with the control flow when there is a mask, because it looks like the mask is correct. So maybe there's a control flow issue for just in the case that there is a mask. I don't know. It's very strange. The editor's looking better every stream. Thanks. Yeah, we're working. That's all we're working on. So hopefully we really need to be done with it soon, but excuse me, enjoying this water. Had a lot of coffee with breakfast. Yeah, so this exact function gives us the correct behavior when we pass the block atlas into it, like a regular block atlas, like the tiles, like the floors and the walls and everything. But when we pass in the select atlas, it does not work the same. We pass in the select atlas along with a mask. Edge tiles is true for both cases. Edge tiles is only not true when we're talking about the hover. So I should probably rename something else. But it's supposed to be like the cursor hover. But it's actually not just the cursor hover, is it? It's more of like an action layer. Maybe I'll rename it to the action overlay, because it's the thing that shows that you're acting on something. So when we are doing the normal flow through this with the block atlas, we hit this condition, we hit this condition, we don't hit this branch. Instead, we hit this branch, and this branch ends up being fine. Mask is null, and the adjacent hull is the same as this hull. What's weird is that it seems like we hit this branch too when we're doing the overlay, because the hull seems to be the thing that the differing hull seems to be the only reason we're able to change the outline. Hey, Fusionist, how's it going? You jamming? Thanks, Rhiannon. Enjoy the rest of your convention. Conference. Conferences are for business. Conventions are for fun. We're bug hunting, Fusionist. There's two different cases running through the same function that behave very differently. So we're just trying to figure out, trying to understand it better. I want to say it must have something to do with our tile sets. But I've looked at them so many times, I'm like very convinced that it's not true. Because we basically get stuck on this tile on the Atlas chord 00. I have seen 0, 1, and 1, 0 under certain circumstances. I've never seen the others. Most of the time, we should be getting back Atlas chord 3, 3. So all of these conditions should be getting met. But it almost never happens. No jamming for you. Jamming some tunes. Nice, nice. Yeah, GMTK is so huge. I don't know how you don't just get, like, overwhelmed by it all. It'd probably be really good for the channel, though. Pretty much every time I do a jam, our channel grows by about 10%. Which is pretty good. And it seems to be proportional, you know? Obviously, it has to be a big jam. Like, it's usually Ludum Dare. But even solo dev was pretty good. Yeah, the visibility is a good plus. Yeah, our next jam is going to be Down to Jam, which I think is going to be quieter, but it is also like a streamer-heavy jam. Because it's, or you know, it's organized by like Adagon and Pomo. And team. Is that one before Ludum Dare this time? Yeah, yeah. That's gonna be the jam we do to get back in the swing of things, since I crashed out at the last Ludum Dare. I want to do a smaller jam first, get my confidence back, and then come back and do Ludum Dare. So Down to Jam is in September, early September, and then Ludum Dare I think is in early October usually. Which is annoying because it usually overlaps with another event that I really like. Let me see. I want to see if that's going to happen. I'll be upset, but I will survive. September 5th through 8th for Down to Jam. Or it's Ludum Dare that I'm worried about. Oh, they haven't even announced the dates of October. All right, I guess I'll wait. Wait and see. You want to try doing it too? Yeah, cool. Yeah, it would be super cool. It's it's community driven. I really like the people that are putting it together. Adagon's been working really hard on it, or at least really working really hard on the website. Their website is incredible, considering they put it together in like less than a year. They've only done one of the jams so far. It's got so many features already. Yeah, I don't know. I don't understand what could be happening here. Adagon's in Rinks chat pretty often, so you talk there. Oh yeah. I don't know how much I know Rinks, but I don't know how involved they are in the organize. I didn't have time to participate in the organization, so like I didn't, but you know. So I don't exactly know who's all involved, but it's a good group of people. Null, is it possible? No. We are just passing null. Yeah, this is the only thing I want to figure out today is why our selection grid is behaving the way that it does. This is correct. There's no, you don't see a grid here, right? It correctly auto tiles and outlines. And this runs through the same code as these, and we get this instead. And I don't understand why, so I just got to keep breaking it down further and further. So I just need it to be dumbed down for me so that I can understand it. It's weird because the top, it's only the top that gets stuck in this grid form. I want to double check that my premise is true. Rinks just keeps telling you to join it. So the very least she promotes it. Oh yeah. That's great. Yeah, I got raided into Rinks stream from Adagon's the other day. I think I remember seeing you there. It's a small world. Software and game development category of Twitch. All right, so here's the thing that I'm gonna do just to like maintain my sanity. Is what we're gonna do here is we're gonna say if mask is not equal to null, we're just gonna debug.write. We're gonna say if mask is not equal to null, we're gonna say this: if mask is not equal to null and atlas chords is not equal to 0. I want to know about it. We could just count. We could just say variable count equals 0. I want to know if this is occurring. This should be 0 if I do this. Actually, I can just leave it the way it is. So this number should never be anything other than 0. Oh, it's 1. Why is it 1? 1 is a strange number. Oh, that's because this is happening in a loop. Never mind. I'm a fool. I thought I could sum this up. I cannot. How about this? I don't know why I thought I was in a loop. I mean, I've been thrown for a loop, that's for sure. All right, we're going to do this. Whenever the atlas chords is not 0, we're going to write it out. Maybe that will give me an idea. Interesting. So it looks like oh man. It looks like maybe there is a problem with the way the tile set is set up. Because it looks like I actually want to see if any of these are 0. Now I'm concerned that none of them are 0. Oh. The autotiler is working. I'm a fool. This has been working the whole time. So it is setting the correct atlas chord for all of these, but for some reason when it comes to draw, it's drawing this instead. It's drawing this grid. Interesting, interesting. So the problem is not there in the code, in the autotiler code at least. The problem is somewhere else. Problem is downstream. Because yeah, none of the atlas chords were set to 0. Fascinating. All right. So if it's not there, where? It's not in the data packing, because the data packing doesn't do anything. Well, it doesn't make any choices. Like, it doesn't scrutinize the dictionary of tiles. All right. Let's look. So what could be let's look at the differences between these in A-Sprite maybe. All right. What is the difference? Okay. It's set up exactly the same. It seems like the vast majority of the tiles were 3-2 and 2-3, which is correct because these are the ones that, well, they're mostly 3-3, and then there should be some 3-2s and some 2-3s, and 3-1s and 1-3s. So it's these 5 tiles should be the most populous because they represent a single outline or no outline, which is the most common. So it seems to be these are the ones that we are setting to, but for some reason when they actually get drawn here, you don't get the behavior we expect. I thought there might be an overlap issue or something. Doesn't look like it. Compare some of this stuff, I guess. Just generally be concerned about this. No, I don't see anything weird. Is there anything else? Is there some rendering instructions or something that we could be doing? Visibility. Ordering 0. What about in the actual grid levels object? Index is 0. Okay, so these go from 0, 28. So I think that's the same as these, right? Is it 0 to 28? Yep. Okay, so I don't see anything with the nodes that hold the tile maps that indicate anything weird. All right, we're just gonna mess around with this sprite sheet, I guess, and try to figure out what's happening. Do a quick sanity check here. I've deleted the 5 tiles that I think are the ones being drawn, and we're gonna see what we get when we run it like this. Should be nothing. We should see nothing, right? Interesting. Very interesting. Oh yeah, look what's happening. It's almost like this grid is being superimposed. That's what appears to be happening, is that there is this cross section that's being superimposed. This is like, oh man, do I have like a shader running or something? Like, I don't understand what's happening. All right, we're gonna get rid of this cell next. But it can't be this one, because this one has the backing. There was no backing before. There was just outlining. Very strange. Man, I hope there isn't something weird going on here. The grid, there's no like distinct script. It's not like it's following a different path anywhere. All right, let's continue the experiment. Do you recall correctly that before you intentionally added grid lines, you noticed that they were there? You think that was unintentional? Yeah, I think at one point I made a conscious choice for that effect. Are your tiles overlapping by 1 pixel or so, which is causing borders to get drawn because of the overlaid tiles? You would think that, but I've actually drawn these in such a way that they're like short to prevent overdrawing, because that does happen. But I think I'm defending against that. What's crazy is that the outlines still appeared, but this interior, this semi-transparent light gray, wasn't there. which means just the outlines are being added somehow, which shouldn't be possible because there's nowhere on this tile set that has just the outlines by themselves. So something is being drawn. I don't know. I don't know how this is possible. It's very strange. Very strange. All right, now let's see what we get. No change. Yeah, so yeah, if you notice the four corners still have that light gray. And that's because those are not tiles I deleted, because those are arrow tiles, which I kept in because there should only be 4 of them. But you'll notice here, these are just outlines by themselves, no gray. And I don't know where they're getting those from. Very strange. And this is actually still wrong, but that's understandable why. What happens when I do this? Okay. Yeah, so it handles the difference between them. I actually can't tell if that's the same color here. It looks like the same color. Yeah, what? How is this outline being added by itself? All right, I'm going to add back the edges and only remove this one here. So I'm going to add this one back, and I'm going to add this one, and I'm just going to keep this one out for now. And this way we should see... Yeah, we do the overlapping by pixels on purpose for this one. For this layer. It gives a really nice effect. But I'm pretty sure we are explicitly avoiding that. Maybe we're not. Maybe we're not explicitly avoiding that. But the thing is, that shouldn't be creating this effect. Because there's nothing in this tile to overlap. Like, the middle of this should be blank. You can see it's a darker gray. And yet, there's a full outline. What a mystery. Here's something fun we can do. Let's go here. Let's go to the hover hall. This is the dotted line one. Let's switch to this one for a second. So let's just replace the select one with this one. Because that'll really make it clear whether it's part of the tile set or not. What's happening. In fact, we probably won't see any dotted lines, but maybe we will. What do we see? Yeah, no dotted lines. Crazy. You do not have time to import? Let's double check and just make sure the import went through. Oh, there we are. Oh. Okay, what's causing this? Okay, so it is pulling from the tile set, just in a strange way. All right, let's get rid of... Let's do the thing here like we did before. Let's get rid of, like, this one. Oh. I think I know what's happening. No, I don't. Maybe I do. Let's see. I think I know what's happening. And I'm deeply embarrassed if this is what it is. Aha. Well. No, aha. Okay. I think I've figured it out. Wow, I'm glad we didn't go with this. I really don't like this U-shape. This little U-shape thing. I think if used incredibly sparingly, it could be interesting, but I really don't like it. I also really don't like the dotted lines along the side. I'm glad we decided against using this. I think I figured it out. It looked cool. Is that how you really feel? Here, I think if I do this, I think if I remove this one line, I think I'll have fixed this problem. I mean, I won't have actually fixed it, but I think I know what's causing this, and so embarrassing. All right, let's tell the bulk Z layer not to draw. Let's see what happens. No, that wasn't it. Okay, maybe I don't know. Let's get rid of every other layer. Is it possible? Oh. Let's isolate this to one layer here. You mean it? What's happening? Oh, a switch expression needs to be non-exhaustive. Right, okay. So this needs to say default instead. This is gonna look super weird. Oh. Okay, yeah, it's one of the other layers. One of the other layers is creating a weird ghosting effect. Uh-huh. I think the other two layers are causing a weird draw that you shouldn't be able to see, but maybe you can because it's bleeding through. Yeah, that's what it is. That's what it is. There's some kind of bleed through from another layer, which is very strange. I thought we weren't drawing in these cases. Like, we shouldn't be drawing here. Yeah, it's because this front piece is, I think, being treated... Yeah, it's being... Okay, well, we figured it out. That's good. Now we have to figure out how to not allow it to occur. You love the dashing border, but not having anything on the inside. But highlight? We could try it. I don't like the dashed border, especially when it interacts with the regular outline. I really dislike this. This, like, salt and pepper look thing. But otherwise, yeah, I like the dashes. I like the dashes normally against a solid background. All right, so as it used to be, so the way we used to have this, you see these little serrated teeth? These are like the X faces for this tile, for the tile here, you can see as it highlights it. These shouldn't be getting drawn because we don't need to see them. So we just need to update our auto tiler to tell it that. Do not draw these. Do not draw these if we do not need them. So let's work on that. And if we fix that, then we're good. That looks like your floor is an elevated platform, and those are like vents for cables and the like. Yeah. So we are overdrawing. All right, so how are we going to remove this? So what we need to do is we basically need to say... Do we need something up here that's basically like... If not... We could say if hulls... Or do we need to refer to blocks? I'd rather not refer to the blocks. We could say if hulls.tryGetValue key minus y out. Whatever we don't need to get out. Well, we could actually... we can just discard it. So if this and not cutaways has key.xyz minus vector 3i y cutaway. I want to rewrite how the has works. So I'm going to say cutaways index in by key.xyz minus vector 3i.y and then ask has. So if cutaways this dot has, I'm going to do that. Hey Silas, how's it going? I think I misunderstood something here. I mean, obviously I misunderstood something, but like I think some of these conditions down here were not for outlining so much as they were like, you just don't draw the tile. Just yield. Just like default. Don't just return default. Just give up. Like that's what should happen for some of this stuff. And it's not. So yeah, so if all of this so here I would just say return default. So if there is a hull there and it's not being cut away, then you just don't even draw this tile. All right, let's see if that fixed this. All right, we're in ads at the exciting moment when we actually fix this. Yep, there we are. Well, not exactly. I don't think negative y was the number I should, or the thing I should have done. I think it should have been plus y. Yeah, plus y, because we're talking about the block in front of us, not the block behind us. Let's try that again. Nope. So we're on the X face. Plus X. That's correct. These are still being drawn. Oh, but not over there, so it's happening only at the corner. Interesting. Why would it be happening at the corner? This is the x-axis. This is the y-axis. We're asking about it in front of us. We're saying, is there a hull here? And there is. You can tell because of this coloration here. We calculated the hull here. So if hulls.try get value, oh, I'm adding y. Not even adding the correct axis that I thought I was supposed to be doing. That would explain that. Oh, that looks better. Will the floor just be completely flat, or are you trying to make it like that bottom right corner? I'm just making sure we're not overdrawing, so... See? All those little... You said vent-like little tiles shouldn't be getting drawn, but they were, so I was just testing it. Now it's only drawing... You see, if I put a block in front here, it doesn't draw that tile behind. That's correct. That's preventing it from overdrawing the tiles. Drawing tiles we don't need. Using a combination of the hull data and the cutaway data. We were overdrawing, which is not usually the problem, but it is a problem if you're talking about semi-transparent things. So we try to not do this by default, just so things like overlays look correct. So I think this will work. So we need to add this to pretty much everything. Oh, we have someone to ban, it looks like. Someone trying to sell us the best viewers here. Load the photon torpedoes. And blast them. We got them. Thank you for the hydrate, Nix. Yeah, we got enemies on board, yeah.
He's dead, Jim.
He is. All right, so we'll do this. We'll do this with Y. So the check. So I gotta write out the. Well, this already fixes the issue, I think. So we go back here. We re-enable this. So now if we try to do this, it should work. How's it going, Silas? Yep, there it is. I mean, it doesn't look right because I've disabled some things. But yeah, that's so funny. I would have never... I questioned my autotiler because autotiler is like opaque and complex and hard to reason about. But it wasn't that at all. It was overdraw from tiles underneath. Or it was overdraw from perpendicular tiles underneath. All right, let's fix the rest. Yeah, I kind of like the... Well, let's fix this incrementally, because I do think you have a good point. So we add this back in. Yeah. And then we relaunch this. You're still chugging away at your little game. That's what we're here for. All right, yeah, Nix, I like this. I think this is okay. Probably without the interior highlighted area, but maybe with the interior highlighted area if I like expand it to connect with the dots. But I think this could be cool to like express like the range of something, or maybe like an area of effect, something like this. I think this would be I think a dotted line. We'd have to keep it really simple. The thing I want to avoid is having to like handcraft these. So if we just have it be something that follows along with the floor piece and doesn't have to like, because the problem is the rest of these overlays, oh, it's not going to render. But all the other overlays are very form-fitting. And that's kind of what I want to avoid. But yeah, let's go back to the correct thing here. Get what we expect here. Well, that was a sufficiently bizarre issue. Diginating is keeping the interior highlighted area. Looks cleaner and makes it easier to read. Yeah, I do like it. So here's what it should look like now with the correct rules. This is what I want a selection to be like. And I like... Oh, I've lost the little overlaps for the hover. Let me add that back in, because I do like that, actually. But I only want it during the hover, or during the interaction. I don't know what the right word is. But I only want it when you're, like, dragging like this, so you can, like, use it as kind of a ruler without having to count. I hate games where I have to, like, count tiles without being able to clearly see them. But yeah, I like this selection, because it also makes it a lot easier to do. Because we can basically say wherever there's a black outline, there's also potentially a white outline. But notice how it's not based on hull type anymore. There's probably some more adjustments we need to make, but I want to adjust the hover. I want to reintroduce that slight overlap. So the overlap we were getting on the hover was accidental, apparently. And now I need to add it back. I really need to clean up some of these unused files. I'm getting very confused about where things are a lot of the time.
I could die right now, Glenn. I'm just happier. I've never felt that before.
So we look at this. So we've shortened these. We need to make these longer. So we do like this. We need to make these full so that they overlap with each other. And that's how we're going to get that effect. It's just the slight overlap at the edges. The 1 pixel overlap at the edges for the floor tiles. We want that. Re-import. Silas, so the game you're working on is a top-down 2D roguelike sci-fi space game. Some simple simulations of systems, power grids, power sources, lights, terminals, pressure, oxygen levels, etc. Having them interact with each other. When a door to another room or space opens, then the pressure should equalize and dust in the room should move about and that kind of stuff. No, that's super cool. That's the kind of stuff we're going to be working on when we get to the simulation layer. When we are finally done with the tile block editor here and we can move to its obvious follow-up, which is the shipboard simulation of like what's actually happening on the ship. Yeah, I would definitely like to compare notes with you on that when we get to that point. I'd love to see how you're thinking about some of that stuff. I have to deal with like the third dimension aspect of it, but you're doing more of a top-down thing, but You think you should start over half the time? Yeah, when you do something that's really simulation heavy like that, I think that is the kind of game where architecture is like very crucial. Oh man. This doesn't have exactly the look that I want. Or at least the way that it interacts with the... I don't like this. I don't like this exact look. How do I fix that? Oh, I know how to fix that. We can shorten this one 1 pixel. That should fix that. I hope. Yeah, definitely. So that's also why you've been doing so much refactoring. Yeah. Because to add additional functionality like there is hard. All right, cool. So now we still get our cool little subtle grid when we actually draw the thing out, and then it goes away. I might be tempted to have it stick around. Instead of going away completely. I kind of like this. Like the subtle interior grid rather than just completely washing it out. I don't know. It's very clear that I would probably want overlays that don't have this grid, but I kind of like it. Rather than having it go away. Kind of like the combination. You check in at the magic moment to see it working? Yeah, we figured it out. We found the issue. It was the edges of the side panels here. We were overdrawing the side panels, so there were ranks of side panels underneath the floor here, and the edges of the side panels were peeking up through the floor and creating that grid. Insane. Truly insane. And so we got rid of the overdrawing, so now that doesn't happen. So now we don't draw all these unnecessary hidden tiles underneath here. Diginanigans, you like the subtle grid? It gives context to how big it is, but it's cleaner and more obvious where the boundaries are. Yeah, I like
Maximum warp.
I think we're gonna go with that. Maximum warp. Yeah, so that's easy to do, so let's do that. We just go back to this, and we essentially, all we do for this is we just extend up the edges. Like this. So anywhere there isn't an outline, we just extend back up the underlying semi-transparent material. Probably use a line tool. Yeah, no worries. Thanks for checking in between all the tomb raiding. All right, well, I'm pleased. I was very concerned. So This wasn't a bug with the autotiler so much as like a fundamental issue that we'd fixed before that we then reintroduced because our institutional memory is not significant. Even though I'm the only person that's ever worked on this, I don't remember how we used to do stuff half the time. Because I swear I fixed that overdraw problem before. Because I identified it as being a problem. And then our new autotiler reintroduced that. Oh well. It only took a couple of days of racking my brain here. We figured it out. All right, almost there. We're almost done. Thank you for your patience. And then what we can do is we're going to go back and solve the rest of the overdrawing problem. So we're going to go in and identify when a given tile layer should just give up and return the default tile and not try to draw anything. Returning the default tile is just shorthand to not record the tile down. And it's nice because it uses a combination of hull data, which does support overdrawing, and the cutaways, which tells us what to avoid. Because the cutaways tell us which tiles are actually being exposed and which ones are not. Or which ones are being exposed that would otherwise not be because of the cutaway. All right, there we go. Save this. Export that. Cool. Oh. Did I not? You have to open the actual engine window for it to do the import. It's a little unfortunate. I can't just bounce from a sprite directly to the writer. Doesn't give the engine long enough, I think, to actually do anything. There we go. Maybe we should clear cursor bounds. Maybe not. Because for a moment, it's like twice as bright. Not twice as bright. It's 2 layers until I move. I actually think that's okay. Yeah, it's nice. And you can select a grid within the grid. If I do this, I can attempt to reselect what's inside. It doesn't do anything, but all right, I want to test it with everything else with the full range, but we have to fix the rest of these layers so that we aren't overdrawing. Oh, and I want to rewrite the rest of these so that they're like this, because this was something I figured out, was that we could have this mask is null and, or mask is not null and comparison down here at the end, and then we don't have to do it like nested like this, where we have like this outer check and then like one more inner check. I would rather do it all in a single conditional. I mean, I'm sure the compiler doesn't care and it just fixes it anyway, but probably looks better. Success. Yeah. Thanks to Shenanigans. Yeah, we figured it out, which is great. That means tomorrow we can actually move on to something else, which is pretty cool. I just got to do all these fixes right now. And then we can go over here, go to our task thing. Cursor block outline is under review. Unified autotiling API here, also under review. Tile selection overlay, also under review. Actually, it should probably be in like this order. So we'll be able to knock these three tasks out, I think, very soon. If not today, then this week. And we'll just be done with those. I kind of want to do raycast cursor input next because I think it's going to very fundamentally change the way that you navigate the space. And things like that, things that change, I feel like defining the way the player interacts with the things on screen is like the first thing. So I want to focus on that. So if I'm going to change the way that works, I would like to do that now. I would like to do that as soon as possible. But then we need to do the serious things because these are honestly the top three here are the only things we need to do before we move on. Really? Like we have to have, well, I don't know if we need a history, but we need to do save and load. And if we're going to do save and load, we might as well have a history. And if we're going to have a history, we might as well have an undo redo tool. So these things all kind of interrelate, and this is the next big group. Tileset Atlas Builder is probably not something we're going to do for a while. It's going to be something we think about when we start creating more assets. Same with the expanding the block palette. These things kind of go together. Auto tile invalid blocks. I do want to add this. We need our equivalent of like the magenta block from Half-Life. From like the source engine. Like we need like an obviously invalid like block to be able to auto tile. When like you put a door in a place that a door can't be or something like that. We need something like that. Resizable block buffer. We need that for entering play mode so that we're not having to simulate the whole block buffer if we're using a subsection of it. Eyedropper block tool, paint bucket block replacement tool. These are some nice to haves. I would put these as nice to haves. I'm gonna move some stuff around here. These are hard to move sometimes, which is probably why people, you know, use actual Kanban boards. Why can't I get this lined up? Get this out of the way. Obsidian is kind of a pain to fight with sometimes, being honest. But it's still a very good tool. Yeah, I like can't move this correctly because there's something over here blocking it. Its desire to keep everything strictly aligned is misguided sometimes. All right, there we go. So yeah, this chunk is probably what we'll do next. And then this chunk. And then these we'll probably leave for later. I know I said I wanted to be done with the tool, but it's not something that, you know, will ever truly be finished. We're just going to be happy with the feature set and we'll be able to move on. Nyx, by the way, today you realized just how good shield belts can be in RimWorld. Oh yeah, shield belts are good. Before you have like, unless you can like fully armor somebody, a shield belt by itself is so good at keeping like a melee fighter alive. When they're being like, when someone's trying to like gun them down. Yeah, I like shield belts. They're one of those things like, I don't know if I've ever made one. It's one of those things you usually find or get given from like a quest, and it becomes like a sacred relic of the colony. Like, oh, the mighty shield belt. All right, so we're going to rewrite this to add the language that we've got elsewhere. So it's going to be like, it's going to be like this. And then up here, it's going to say this. Okay, most of these don't seem to do anything. I kind of want these to at least be like this. I guess the way this is structured, this doesn't do anything. I'm gonna keep it anyway in case the rules change. I don't want to mess up the setup. Like if I tack on another condition at the end, you know, then these parentheses, oh, now the parentheses do something. What? Okay. Okay. Oh yeah, and do I want to just remove the braces here? I do, don't I? Yeah, just do that. Simpler. Still hard to read, but simpler. Let's do that. Yeah, I used to do it for combat as well, but today you realize they make the grav ship quest easy? No, I haven't done any of the quests. I would like to start another grav ship run on stream. The next time we do a Let's Play. There we go. All right, I'm getting my groove here. I got kind of annoyed making these redundant, or not redundant, but making these repetitive changes, but it'll be good. Once we're done, we're done. I'm still pleased with this, having the individual layer logic hidden away here with the individual tile returns. Does it involve kind of a lot of boilerplate? Yeah. Is it fine? I think so. So we'll move this up here. parentheses, add a parentheses, say or mask is equal to null, and there we go. So many conditionals. Kind of horrifying. All right. Here we go. First layer done. This layer already has its return default branch there. This is one of those things that I wish I could easily just have like the autocomplete do for me. This is like a simple enough refactor, but it seems beyond its capabilities, you know? Is this right? Can I do this? Is the right number of... too many there. There we go. Keeping track of all the parentheses. It's not easy, but it's honest work. All right, so Z, deck Z level. So what prevents a deck Z level from being drawn? It would be just, is there a bulk on top of us? Like, is there a wall tile on top of our floor piece here? So we say if hulls.tryGetValue, we say key with W equals tile.layers. Bulk Z, I guess, is a reasonable one to check. Oh, is int tile.layers.bulk Z. So if there is we could also have just done a simple block check, but we haven't been passing the blocks around. So it's probably easy enough to just do a tile check. And not cutaways.has this block, this very same block. Actually, we can just say cutaway has. Cutaway.has Not cutaways, cutaway. Is that not a thing I'm defining? Oh, I define it down here, huh? Oh no, I don't define it at all. Okay. You got it. So key.xyz. Cutaway.extents. Oh, I need to check for it has any. Has any, but with full deck. We want to say cutaway.extents full bulk or full deck. I think that should work the way I'm expecting it to work. Get key dot has any of these values. Has any extents for extent and all extents. If extent and extent is extent and has extent, return true. Great. Love it. Love to see it. I'm gonna go get some water real quick. We are back like 20 seconds. All right, we're back. All right, so this should work for this. Let's do a quick check now that we're midway through here. Let's just make sure we got this going the right way here. So there should be no visual impact unless I try to place a block here. Yeah, there we go. So you can see the floor piece disappear because we've selected a block to put above it. We don't see the block because we aren't currently drawing that layer. We've disabled that layer. But yeah, this is what you want to see. Cool. Very pleased. And I like this model of the overlay system, where because overlays are going through the exact same auto tiling process as the regular tiles, you'll never get an overlay by itself. You'll only ever get an overlay projected exactly over a real tile. Like you won't have these floating overlays, so you don't have to worry about semi-transparent layers stacking on top of each other and being drawn weirdly. I mean, it means there's some stuff we can't quite do. Or it makes some stuff harder to do, but I think it's still quite good. All right, so we do have a cutaway concern already here, written down. Let's add this one onto that. So hauls, try get value, key plus vector3i.y, out haul. So if there is a haul here, and we aren't cutting this away, so if both of these are true, we return default. So we can say this or this and this. We can say if we're cutting ourselves, there's a cutaway here for the block. Don't even do it. Don't even worry. And then or if there's a block that's like obscuring us so that we don't need to be drawn, also that's another good reason to not. So that should be fine for that. And then we're just going to move. We're going to do the same thing I've been doing elsewhere. Oop. Forgot a closing parenthesis. I don't know how changing this block reformats the block below it. That seems to be the way Writer has decided this works. Be right back. Actually, no, yeah, I'll be right back 1 second. Sorry. All right, sorry. I keep getting distracted. But I'm here. Here I am. Don't need to be sorry for anything. Oh, that's nice. I'll remember that next time I should be sorry for something. Thanks, Nix. All right, that looks good. Moving on. Same thing but for the other side here. Wait, x plus, oh, this should be at plus x. Just reuse this for the y side. Oh. Hold on a second. Yeah, that's the correct way to draw. I need to bump this up here. There we go. Oh, wait, is this an and or is this just an or? All's done. So if there is a block next to it and it's not being cut away, right now, that is an and. Okay. Swap this to the y-axis. Being sorry's for Trumps. Maybes are for babies. Oh, you're funny. All right, I think we're getting pretty close to the home stretch here. I hope this all works. All right, bulk Z tile. That would be like, don't draw this if there's a floor above it. So we'll say if cutaways, well, there's that, but let's grab the rule from the deck Z and we'll use something similar. So we'll say or. So if this is being cut away, or so instead of key with W, I need to say key. I need to say key with W plus vector 3i dot Z. No, minus vector 3i dot Z. Deck Z. I think that's right. I hope that's right. You know, I was tempted to get roped into the GMTK jam when I saw all the excitement this morning about it, but I was like, man, I don't have time. I'll have to do one of those one time, though. I just can't imagine a game jam of that size, 30 something thousand entrants. Even if only like a third of those submit, that's still like 10,000 games. It's wild. I don't know what the fallout would be. Or the fall off, not the fallout. For a jam of that size. It seems so cool, though. And you know, there is something to be said for hand-picked jam themes. Like, I don't mind the Ludum Dare voting process, but like, it's the joke is that like the Ludum Dare jams always, or the Ludum Dare themes always suck, right? So I thought the last theme was really good. I don't remember what it was, but it was like the depths or something like that. It was just like depths. Like, that's a cool theme. So yeah, it's obviously, you know, not guaranteed for the theme to be bad, but I do like a hand-picked theme, I think. The depth and loop are cool. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the one-word themes. I usually don't like one-word themes, but those are good ones. Oh, the doors. I'm not sure what to do about the doors. They're so different than everything else that I'm just not going to touch them right now. I think they'll be fine. I don't think they have quite the same considerations as the other layers. All right, let's see. Let's see what we accomplished here. We fixed all this stuff. Oh. I do have to make one slight change to the hover atlas here. The wall textures, these are too tall. These need to have a pixel shaved off of the top. There we go. Oh. Oh, why didn't that do anything? Oh, probably because I didn't load the engine. There we go. It'd be nice if the engine could do background importing. But it makes sense that it's not. There we go. Oh, this is wrong. Are we not considering the cutaway correctly? for this specifically. That seems to be what's happening. All right, we'll fix that. See if that'll probably be the last thing we do. All right, so what is causing that? I think I went too aggressive with the bulk cutaway here. So if cutaways key.xyz.has cutaway.extents.full-bulk, yeah. So if we are being cut away, or if holes.tryGetValue key plus vector3i.x and not cutaways.has key.xyz plus vector3i.x cutaway.x. Oh, here we go. Here we go. This needed to be has any, and it needed to be cutaway.extents.full-bulk or full deck. I think that's it. No. Oh. That worked on one side, but not the other. I misapplied that to the Y side for some reason. Not cutaways.head. Cutaway.extents.full-bulk. Or full deck. Oh, this has needs to become has any, right? This should be good now. Which is good because we're running out of time. Yep. All right, that seems to be okay. What about for the selection here? Ooh, so that's almost right. I kind of want line work in here at the edges here. I don't strictly need it, but I kind of want it. Yeah, because it does it in here. For some reason, it's not doing it out here, though. And then it won't show there because of indexing. This is pretty much it, though. It's pretty much what we want. Cool. Yeah, just small thing with the concave little edge inside here, the interior edge. That's easy to fix. That's actually the responsibility of the wall piece here. So, yeah, I think we're almost there. I'm much happier with how the selection overlay works now. We solved the mystery, and we also fixed a ton of overdraw at the same time. So, go us. Yeah, I think we're going to wrap it up here for today. I got to get back to work. Sorry it was such a short stream. I started really late. Hopefully we'll be around a little longer tomorrow. I'll start a little earlier, hopefully. But yeah, it's been good. Appreciate everyone hanging out. Again, good luck to anyone engaging with the GMTK Jam. You got less than 4 days. But yeah, I want to say it was nice. Take care. Thanks, Silas. Nix, nice stream. Yeah, I think so. Appreciate everyone hanging out. Good luck with your own projects or your work or whatever you're doing. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I will see you next time. Bye.